if you've been playing along, you've noticed I've been doing some of these liqueurs. I did limoncello, I did one with grapefruit. I've not done ones with orange, but I might do one of those sometime. Those are all ideas that are out there and somewhat common, I guess. But this is something that I have not ever seen anybody do or heard of. I have raspberries, and I had frozen them from picking them last summer. They were in my freezer, and I was trying to think of something to do with them. And I thought of this. So I have 1 liter of this stuff, same stuff, 190 proof, so 95% alcohol. I have a little over a pound of raspberries. I don't know how the camera will do here. Let's see if we can get a shot. They've been in here over a month. I was kind of waiting to see. Let's see. I think you can kind of see that how they're turning, you know, more whitish. I guess if I go like that, you can kind of see. So most of the color is in here. The flavor should be in here. The trick is going to be to get all of the alcohol and the raspberry juice out of here. I have a strainer, a double mesh strainer. I have a grain bag. I have a hot bag. I'm going to see if I can get this stuff in here. And then I also have to measure it to see how much I have so I can figure out how much of the sugar solution to add to get about 2 liters total. So let's take a crack at this. Alright, I don't really know how this is going to work. The peels are pretty easy. You just pour the stuff in there and all the juice runs out and the peels, you know, stay behind. But I had it in mind to see if I could get all the stuff and run it through here, but well, we got some live children upstairs. This could be a bad idea, but let's see what happens. Maybe my challenge is going to be getting the raspberries out of here. That might be what I have to work on off camera. Might have to get like a knife or something to help out with that. But let me get a knife and take a crack at that. So using this knife, I was holding it upside down and I was able to get it all out of there. So what you got now is if I can get a shot of this. Inside the bag, you got all the raspberries. Let's do a volume check here. So I started with 1 liter, which is about, oh, look, there's a quart, which is, you know, 1 quart is right above my finger. So I have 1 1/4 quarts. So I think I got a little bit of raspberry juice in there. So I'll just sort of figure out how much I need to get 2 liters and get my sugar and water solution going. So after I shut off the camera, I picked up the raspberry bag and realized it was still pretty full of juice. So I thought, well, why don't I just squeeze this for a while? Because there will be alcohol in the raspberries as well as the raspberry juice. So I did. Now I have almost closer to 2 quarts. I think I gained a 1/2 quart out of doing that, because now I have 1 3/4. So I may end up with more than 2 liters, which is fine. I'm just going to have to figure out kind of how much water I need to dissolve how much sugar I want, and figure out an amount to do for that, and get that stuff boiling. Normally I do 4 cups of water at this point, which is about 1 liter, and 3 cups of sugar. I still want the same amount of sugar, so I do have the 3 cups there, but I just did a little over 2 cups. This will give me a little bit over 2 liters when I'm all done, but which is fine. I just don't want to dilute the alcohol content too much. I like to have it around 40. But if I would have done the full 4 cups, I would have ended up with way too much volume. So get this water going, dissolve all that sugar in there, and then cool it down. Now I boil this for 10 minutes, and then I will cool it down in an ice water bath. Alright, I got the simple sugar solution cooled and added to the alcohol, raspberry alcohol. and I stirred it with a spoon. I just stirred it up very well so it's all nice and blended. And now it is time to bottle. Initial taste of this stuff is pretty yummy, and it's always better when it's cold, especially even freezer cold. I think it worked out really well. I'm getting quite a strong raspberry character with the alcohol warming and with the sweetness to balance. We'll see what kind of volume I end up with, but it should at least be around 40% alcohol, maybe into the upper 30s. But it's tasting quite nice. It's definitely tasting more raspberry-y than the grapefruit one, which I know now if I ever do that again, I will use more grapefruit peels to get a stronger grapefruit character. Alright, winding down here. So this is a pint jar, I believe, with just a little in it. So I basically got about what I thought, 2 liters and a little over because of all the raspberry juice, but it should be pretty much about the same strength as the other one. So let me just get this stuff cleaned up. We'll take a final look. Alright, so here we are. It looks nice. You know, it's interesting. Not sure why it didn't get murky like the ones do that I make with the peelings. So I'll throw the smaller jar into the freezer and let it cool down and maybe do a little taste later on. Alright, I'm just going to do a quick taste test here. Kind of syrupy, but that's kind of how they all are. Nice color, got a lot of nice color. And like I said, it didn't get cloudy. Definitely alcohol in the aroma. Man, interesting. It's really raspberry. I like it. Kind of like having the juice in there. I speculated on using some of the lemon juice or the grapefruit juice in the other batches, and I haven't really done it except for like freezing the juice and then putting an ice cube in there. I've done that, but it's good. I mean, you could probably do this with any kind of fruit. Make a little liqueur. So give it a try. Let me know if you try it with any raspberries or anything else, and catch you next time.